you several problems in that assignment, similar to what we've been seeing in this section. So as I share my screen with you guys, some of these word problems, they're going to work the exact same way. We're just going to key in on keywords. Okay, we talked about, I had a little chart where we talked about words like maximum, minimum, at most, at least, things like that. And what those sort of tip us off to is that, oh, I've got, instead of an equation to come up with in my 5-step word problem solving method, I've got an inequality that I need to come up with. Okay, that's the only difference in our 5-step method. We're still figuring out what they're asking. We're still assigning a variable, but we are, instead of writing an equation, we are writing an inequality. All right, I'm getting Tiago in here. He's good to go. So it says Dawn won a mini grant of $4,000 to buy tablet computers for her classroom, and the tablets she would like to buy cost $254.12 each, including tax and delivery. What's the maximum number of tablets Dawn can buy? Now, we can use a brute force approach to this problem, right? Brute force, fellas, remember, just means that you take the long way home, okay? In other words, you say, okay, well, how much would it cost if she bought one? How much would it cost if she bought two? How much would it cost if she bought 3, 4, 5, 6? And then you keep on going until you get past 4,000, and then you go one back, and you say, okay, well, that's the maximum number that she can buy. But we want to be more efficient than that, okay? We don't want to have to either guess and check or use brute force. We want to say, let X be the number of computers that she buys. And then what we can do is we can come up with an expression for the amount of money that she would have to pay them, the cost, right? And it's a very simple expression. Reed Johnston, what would that expression be, considering that they each cost 254.12 and there are X of them? What's her total cost? Reed, can you hear me?
I don't know.
All right, I'll give you a hint. It's going to be rate times quantity. What's the rate at which these computers are sold?
$254.12.
Good. So 254.12. That's the rate. Right. And how many of them is she going to buy?
X.
Yeah, very good. So we know our quantity in this case is unknown. All right. And so that's, again, rate times quantity equals total, right, fellas? Rate times quantity equals total. My wife the other day, I played golf on Tuesday afternoon, and she called me and said, hey, the kids would like some pizza. When you come home, would you pick up some pizza on the way? And I said, sure. And so she ordered 2 pizzas at a fixed cost per pizza, right? And so when you consider what my bill was, it was, okay, well, how much does each pizza cost times how many pizzas we got? Same scenario, right? It's rate times quantity. And you can't get away from that. That's our main sort of mantra in all of these questions, okay? So what we want then is we want to be able to use our equation, our formula down here, and answer the question, what is the maximum number of tablets that she can buy, given that she's got a budget of 4,000. So I want to insert 4,000 in for my total cost, and then I need to replace that inequality, and that's the question, the next question that I'm going to ask. My total cost is at most 4,000, and then I've got 254.12x. So what kind of inequality? Who could tell me my inequality that I need there, as far as 4,000 on the left and my rate times quantity on the right?
Greater than.
Okay, I'm gonna argue that we could do greater than or equal to, and then we'd be good, Mr. Oxley. So greater than or equal to, because would it be all right if she spent exactly $4,000? What do you guys think? Would that be okay?
Yes.
Yeah, sure it would. Now, that's very unlikely that it's going to tap out right at exactly 4,000. If she spent $4,000 and 1 penny, would that be okay?
No.
No. Okay. So the idea is that at most, or the maximum amount, means that we can include 4,000. Okay. So what would I do to both sides at this point? What do you guys think?
Divide by 254.12.
Yeah, and that's where the old calculator comes in handy. So let's do 4,000 divided by 254.12 equals 15.74. All right, so we're going to say 15.74, and I'll just say approximately. And then, do I have to reverse the direction of my inequality? Not at all. Now, hey, look, I hate to harp on you guys. I know not everybody can do this. Right now, I'm only seeing Jake, Joe, William, and Lewis. If so if you've got a camera that works, turn it on so I can see you guys. I really do feel like I'm talking to no one other than those four guys, even though I got a room full of 18 people on the call. But yeah, we got X is, we don't have to reverse the direction. So X is going to be, I'm going to reverse this and say X has to be less than or equal to 15.74, thereabouts, okay? So what would, I mean, can we make logical sense out of this, Charlie? What would a reasonable number of tablets be then? Because I can't go to the store and buy 15.74 tablets.
15.
Yeah, we pick the largest number that's less than, the largest integer that's less than or equal to 15.74, which would be 15. So we've answered their question now by saying, okay, she can buy 15 tablets. And she'd have a little bit of money left over, right? So like if, for example, we said 15 times 254.12, that's 3811.8. And if we subtracted 4,000, we'd get 188.2 left over that she could spend on, maybe something else. I don't know, like some HDMI cables or something to that effect. But she can only buy 15. She can only afford to buy 15 of these tablets. She can't buy 16 or else it would be more than 4,000. You guys understand how that works? Word problems wise? Okay, let's look at another one. The Talicia's phone plan. Okay, it's $28.80 a month, and they charge her. This is an old question, by the way. They charge her $20 per text. Now, you guys are super young, and you might not realize this, but do you know that back in the day they used to charge per text? Y'all ever heard of such? Oh yeah. When I first got a cell phone, it was you paid for the minutes that you used. So like my cell phone plan, I might have 700 minutes of talk per month, and they gave you free nights and weekends. So like after I can't remember if it was 9 o'clock or something like that, but after 9 o'clock you could talk unlimited, and on the weekend you could talk unlimited. But the text messages they would charge you per text. And so, you had to be pretty thoughtful about who you're texting and how many texts you were going to send. If they were charging, 20 cents per text, that would start to tack up after a while. So in this case, we've got these parameters that we want to consider. We've got the total monthly bill right out the gate, and then a per text charge that they add on. And her parents or whoever has said, you're capped at $50, so you're not going to spend more than $50 a month on this plan. Okay. So we want to write up an equation, or an inequality rather. So how about we say 28.80 right out the gate is how much she has to pay plus 20 cents per text. And therefore I'm going to say let X equal number of texts that she sends. Okay. And that has to be no more than $50. So I'm going to say less than or equal to 50. All right, not too bad there. Give me my 2 steps, Jack McBee, to get X by itself. Jack, you're muted, buddy.
Okay, the 2 steps would be to transfer 28.80 on the other side, so subtract 50 by 28 and 80 cents, and that would be
21.2.
21.2.
And then last step.
And then you would divide everything by 0.2. So we would have
106.
Yeah.
All right. So when we look at an example like this, we want to make sure we answer the question in the context that it's given, right? And so it says, how many texts can she send? Now, unlike the last example, 106 is actually a good number. Okay, so she could she could send at most 106 text messages. She sent 107, it would cost more than $50. It would be $50.20. All right, make sense, fellas? So we would answer the question by saying, when it asks how many text messages can she send, we'd say 106 gets the job done. All right, Jack, you can mute yourself again. Here's a problem for you guys to try on your own now while I let my cat out. She does not need to be in here licking up the bacon grease. Come on, baby. All right, here we go. Are y'all familiar with that song by the Baha Men, Who Let the Dogs Out? Y'all ever heard that song?
Yes.
My kids love it when I crank that song up to full blast and I run it on the big speaker in the den. They just have a hilarious dance party every time I do that. I'm gonna write a song called "Who Let the Cat In," not "Who Let the Dogs Out," but "Who Let the Cat In," because we have an outside cat that we have here. She's a working cat. She kills things for us, and I do not like it when she comes in the house, but my wife does. Who let the cat in? Meow, 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 meow. Come on, Tiago. That's gold, baby. That's solid gold right there. You can be my producer, okay? Now, example 11 is a really good example of what we should be doing in our real life. We should be budgeting when we have a big expense like this, instead of just putting it on, just saying, oh, I'll just swipe the credit card and pay for it later. We want to consider, what do I have saved up? What am I earning? And then how long would it take me to be able to afford to go on this trip? This is a really good example of personal finance responsibilities here, fellas. And Malik is doing exactly what he should be doing. All right, so let's highlight some of these parameters. The 840 that he starts with, then he earns $45 per hour for tutoring, and then we start getting some negative costs. Those are his revenues, right? His savings and his earnings. And then this is going to cost $525 for airfare, $780 for food and sightseeing, and $95 per night for the hotel. It's important to keep in mind, this is a rate. This is a rate. This is a fixed value. And these two right here are fixed. Okay. Another way of saying fixed, by the way, is saying constant. Okay. So something that is a variable rate, something that is going to change, depends upon the parameters that you set. Okay. Like I might say, if this question is asking how many hours must he tutor, I'm gonna say let X equal the number of tutoring hours. That's step 1 and 2. Okay. And then that rate that we have, $95 per night, there's one other thing to consider, and that is that it's a 6-day, planning a 6-day summer vacation. Okay. Now, I've worked this problem out before in years past, and I've gotten into some arguments with my students. So let's you and I make sure we understand each other. Okay, as you're working through this, don't just sit here and listen to me. You guys work while I'm talking. Okay. I'll use my mountain bike team as an example. Okay, our mountain bike team is going over to Hot Springs for fall break because there's some killer trails over in Hot Springs. Okay, we're leaving Thursday. Okay, we're going to drive over there. We're going to ride Friday, Saturday, get up, go to church Sunday, ride some more. And then on Monday, we're going to drive back home. because we got school and whatnot the following day. Okay, so we're going to be biking. We're going to be shredding the gnar, hopefully not falling down a mountain. Okay, so how many days would this trip be?
5.
Yeah, that's easy, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a 5-day vacation, my friends. How many hotel nights do I need?
3. No, 4.
I only need 4. Okay, so when you consider a trip like this is a 5-day trip. For a 5-day trip, you only need 4 days or 4 nights in a hotel room. You're going to have a hotel room Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, and then you're going to be back home sleeping in your own bed on Monday night. So that's 4 nights in a hotel.
But I thought it said it was 6 days, not 5.
Well, dadgummit, I'm making up an example, Lewis Thomas, about my mountain bike team. And we sadly, we can't take a 6-day mountain bike trip to Hot Springs, Arkansas, because like I said, we got school on Tuesday. Ugh. I got to come back and deal with you guys. Ugh. All right, but you're absolutely right. This one says 6 days. So, hey, look, if Malik is planning, Lewis, I'll throw this one your way since you brought that question up. Malik is planning a 6-day summer vacation. How many nights is he going to have to stay in his hotel then?
5.
Yeah, absolutely, 5. So that's important. When you are considering a problem like this, and they give you like a per text rate or a per night rate or whatever it is, you got to keep in mind there might be another parameter in the problem. In this case, 6 days is the length of the trip. It's going to be 5 nights in a hotel then. Okay, 5 nights in a hotel. All right, does anybody have their inequality put together that we could check? Anybody want to share what inequality they came up with? I love a good awkward silence. Let me help you structure. Okay. We want savings plus income to be greater than or equal to expenses. Okay, that's the idea here, fellas. Okay, if my savings and my income are at least as much as my expenses, then I can go on the trip. If my savings and my income are not, then I cannot go on the trip. At least that should be, as I mentioned earlier, how I structure my personal finances. Okay, so let's baby step this. Paul, give me an expression for his savings. What do we have in the way of savings?
Um,
It's highlighted in yellow.
all right. It'd be like the total cost minus the savings.
Dude, I just want the
would
savings.
equal-
How much money does he have saved up, Paul?
Oh, yeah, it's 840.
$840. Good. 840. Check. We got our savings. Okay. Joe Edwards, how much is he earning?
He's earning $45 per hour.
And what is the number of hours?
X.
Good. So give me an expression then for his income.
45X.
45X. Do I see a cat next to you, Joe? What's your cat's name?
His name is Rascal.
Is he a rascal? Does he live up to his name?
Yes, he
Oh,
does.
there you go. There you go. Good deal. Does Rascal kill things and leave them on your doorstep for you?
Sometimes.
Nice. Good kitty, Rascal. All right. So here's the left side of it, fellas. By the way, that was rate times quantity. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that was, again, a rate times a quantity, right? Which we have operating in the background of each of these problems somewhere or another. Okay, so we've got our inequality we're writing up. That's we got 2 of those parameters down. Now we want to talk about our expenses. Okay, so fixed expenses were $525 for his airfare plus $780 for his food and sightseeing. and then 95 times 5 for his hotel stay. Okay, and this is where I was getting into the argument with my kids last year about this. They just wanted to say 6 times 95, and I'm like, no, that's not what you need to do. It's a 6-day trip. That means he needs 5 nights in the hotel. All right, so now that we've got in blue this inequality set up, you guys ought to be able to run with it. We ought to be able to solve this out. Okay, so has everybody got a tally on this right-hand side already for me? Anybody run that number? Come on, Alpha Dog, step up.
780.
1,000. Yeah. 1,780.
All right, very nice, very nice. And so I've got 2 steps left, right? I got 2 steps left, and I'll be home. Let's see here. I'm gonna try and call Joey. I don't know if I've talked to you yet, Drew Yard, but what do I do now to get X by itself?
Subtract 840 from 1,780.
All right, so we get 940, and then
Divide by 45.
45. Has anybody divided that yet? 20.8 repeating.
We'll need
All
like
right.
11.
Do what, Paul?
If you were going for just regular hours and not like decimals, he'd need 11.
Why do you say 11?
11 hours. Wouldn't he?
No, 20.8 is not the same thing as 11. I'm not sure where you got 11. Check your arithmetic. And I'll check that sum.
Comparison's sake.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was gonna say I'll check that 1780 if I need to, but so like what? Am I frozen, by the way?
Yes, you're frozen. Or you were.
Yeah,
it
you
was
were.
back. Oh, bad network quality is what I'm getting a message. Stupid network. I don't know if you guys have done any tutoring before or you've worked much in this kind of context, but you really wouldn't charge a customer, 0.8 repeating hours. You would probably just go ahead and do what?
1.
Yeah, you
Sure.
go ahead and do 21 hours. You go ahead and work 21 hours, and that way you would earn enough money. You'd have more than enough money to cover your expenses. You'd have your savings plus your income, and that would be a good example. So he's got a goal. He's got something to shoot for, and that makes it easier to say, all right, I know what I got to do. 21 hours of tutoring, and then you just knock it out and say, okay, I'm going on my trip. All right. Any questions on those word problems from today? All right, then. Good. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a moment. And I'm going to give you guys a quiz, not over inequalities, but I'm going to let you take a quiz that my freshmen are taking over just word problems in general. Okay. Now, this quiz is not going to be done just today. During our class period, because I got like 9 minutes left with you guys. Okay, so instead, what you're going to do is I'm going to post it up. I wish Teams would cooperate. Come on, Teams. It's lagging. Hold on, fellas. All right, good. I'm going to post it up on our Teams channel. And those of you that are successfully logging into Microsoft Teams using your CBHS username and password that I provided you guys, if you figured out Teams, then you'll have access to take this quiz. And it is a quiz over the word problems that we've talked about. So it's called Q 2.4, Quiz 2.4. You might jot that down and say, okay, look for Quiz 2.4 on Microsoft Teams. And I'm going to pull up what it looks like here. Okay. Where posting this, and I'm going to make this due. Today is Thursday the 1st. I'm going to make this due tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, okay? And that way you guys can work on it between now and then. So tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, and we're going to click assign. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the student view of it so that you get an idea. That's what I want. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And then can I drag this over? Yes, I can. Can I click here? Oh, yeah, now we're cooking, baby. All right, so it just posted. And so if you guys you're in your Teams app, obviously, if you're on this call, but if you're logged in with your CVHS account, you should be able to find it in our general channel, find a link. I'm going to share my screen with you guys of what it looks like. And that way you'll have an idea. Now, if for some reason you have not figured out how to make your password work such that you could sign into Teams, I know that I had a few folks that were having issues like that, right? Then what I can do is I can just deal with that, I guess. But ideally, I'd like everybody to be able to take this quiz. But here's what it looks like. We talk about questions like, okay, what's the third step in our word problem solving method? Which of the following is sort of our main theme with this working behind the scenes? And then I give you a couple of mixture problems. There's one about like drinking some Kool-Aid. There's one about like some mixed nuts, a couple of mixture problems. And then here's one rate, time, and distance question. And here's one more rate, time, and distance question. So it's a 10-point quiz. Sometime between today and tomorrow, I'd like for you guys to tomorrow morning at 8 for you guys to take that quiz over our section 2.4 that we've worked through. Okay, can you guys do that for me? Righteous. All right. Well,
I have a question.
okay, go ahead, Paul.
So I don't have like a Microsoft Teams account to log into. The school Chromebook just has the Microsoft Teams on it. I'm using it as a guest, so I don't know if I'll be able to
You're out of
take
luck.
the quiz.
Correct. You probably will not be able to, and that's okay. It's not a big deal. But if you guys can figure it out, go ahead and do it. It'd be good practice for you. And then what we'll do tomorrow is we'll maybe discuss some of the questions on that quiz. So folks like Paul or whoever else that maybe couldn't log in, we'll still get to work a little bit on it. We'll just answer those questions in real time. All right, I'm gonna cut you guys loose now and say have a great day. Live Jesus in our hearts.
Forever.
And fellas, I will see you all tomorrow.